We're here today with Rick, who is a member at our Integrity Wellness Healing Center, Health Center. And Rick has a phenomenal story. And so he's agreed to share some of those details with us and his experience working with us at Integrity. So welcome, Rick.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on, Crystal. It's nice to rekindle our friendship again because, as you are aware, but maybe our listeners are not, is that I've known you for about 25 years. You were good friends with my older sister in school, and I also played hockey with Donnie. When I was younger, I was called up to play with him, and as I said earlier, he took me under his wing a few times there. So I had known you for about 25 years, and then kind of rekindled our friendship, and you took over that health mentor role when I unfortunately suffered from necrotizing fasciitis in September. And I was very fortunate to come out of that experience with both my arm and life intact. So since then, I was very worried about a lot of things, everything from regaining full muscle control, and I am right-handed, so I was worried about my handwriting and everything like that coming back. And I will let you know right off the bat, as I have gone to see my operation surgeon several times, Dr. Bion. She has said, even taking my age into account, I'm 43 years young, she said, I have never seen someone's arm heal as fast as your arm has healed from how aggressive this was.
So, and I absolutely agree with her. Seeing your wound and your incision and the healing has been absolutely incredible. I'd like to just inform the listeners what necrotizing fasciitis actually is and how serious it is. So necrotizing fasciitis is a skin infection, basically, that's caused by a very particular bacteria that is very, very aggressive. And it can spread very quickly underneath the skin and the fascia to the muscle. And it actually kills the muscle cells. And so it spreads very quickly, and the damage that can happens really rapidly. It's life-threatening. It's an emergency. And so you were able to seek emergency care, and you were able to have the appropriate surgeries. And so and you were in ICU, you were intubated. So it was a very serious illness. And when you recovered from that hospital stay is when you started coming to see us and helping enhance your body's ability to recover is really what we contribute here, right? So maybe if you don't mind sharing a little bit about when you first started coming here, even before then, actually, because Andrea was bringing some of we call it magic water because we have children, but it is pretty magical. She was bringing you some magic water in the hospital to drink and to put on your gout. So we can talk about that as well. So maybe share a little bit of that with the listeners.
Sure. As you just mentioned, I was intubated for 6 days and then kept for an additional 10 more days in bed. When I was there, I had because of, again, the necrotizing fasciitis or flesh-eating disease, I had a heart episode where my heart had dropped to 40 beats a minute. And so they put me on some blood thinners, aspirin, But what they didn't take into account for is that I have had gout since I was 23 years old. And one of the main causes, it won't give you gout, but if you have gout, aspirin is one of the main medicines that will cause that. So when I woke up 6 days later, and they'd been on for aspirin for 6 days, I was suffering from terrible gout. And so I had, my sister was speaking to me on the phone, very concerned about my health situation. And I had mentioned to her, I'm having severe gout flare-ups, and that's very odd for, not causing trauma to my legs or anything, because I had it under control. Well, she had brought me Brown's water, as I know it, or magic water. And she said, just wet a napkin, wrap the ailing areas. So we wrapped both my ankles, my one big toe and knee, because, that's where I get my gout. And I went from about a constant 7 out of 10, even being on the pain medications they had me on, it was still that bad. I could not move my legs. Entropy, I believe the word's entropy, was already kicking in. Like I was losing the ability to move my legs because I had been, motionless for 10 days. As soon as they wrapped my legs, I could feel instant pain relief. And within 15 minutes, because that's how long I was supposed to leave it on there. By the way, it was cold. The water works when it's cold. You can't warm it up. It was chilly. But nonetheless, I could already see the swelling and the redness, most especially in my big toe and ankle. Sorry, my apologies, my big toe and my right knee. I could already see the swelling to the point so where I could only maybe move my knee 15 degrees. I could move it probably 40 degrees, 15 minutes, one session later, which was just truly remarkable, especially if anybody who knows gout, understanding that it can go away that quickly, that's unheard of medication. It truly is magic water. So that's, that brought me out of the hospital. And once I was able to come to the wellness center here, I went on the gas system. So you'd wrap my leg all the way up to my knee. You'd put the tube into the bag, seal it awfully. And again, now the skin was able to breathe and absorb the brown gas that we call it, or the H3 gas that we have here. And I went from limping in here the first day that I came. And funny enough, I guess bad things happen in threes, necrotizing fasciitis, and then the gout. The day that I came here, the night before, I got a kidney stone. So I thank goodness they happen in threes, because that was about as much as I could take. So I sit down, and you've put the gas on my leg and my knee, my big toe and ankle, and it's all absorbing. And within 15 minutes of breathing the gas in, drinking the water, and having it absorbed through my leg, I got up and I didn't have to use my cane. Going from hobbling in with my cane to not having to use my cane in one therapeutic session, this is, again, I've had this now for over 20 years, 19 years of my life. Never had I seen something with this quick of result. Admittedly, 50 milligrams of prednisone, a highly toxic steroid, does get results. This is allowing my body to heal itself with none of those terrible, terrible side effects of prednisone. Everything from the nightmares and the overeating to the non-sleeping, and when you sleep, you have horrible nightmares. Like, the drug is terrible for you, but it did allow me to walk, where I leave feeling rejuvenated from just allowing my body to use these healing techniques. And now we're getting back to the next reason that I came in. Oh my gosh, I had a kidney stone. And if you've had a kidney stone, it's the pain is so acute. It's not here. It's not here. It's right here. You can feel it going through your ureter. Every inch of the way, every centimeter of the way, you know exactly where that stone is, because it feels like you're being prodded with a sharp needle, whether it be in the back of your kidney or, through your ureter. So again, Dr. Crystal, brought me to what we would call the Tesla device, I assume, right? So the Tesla device, and she sits down and says, "This is what we're going to do." And the machine lights up, and she's saying, what your body's going to allow is to create space between the cells. And I didn't really know what that meant. How, if our cells are connected, how does that work? Did you want to tell people how that process worked for me?
Absolutely. So the Tesla device is an electromagnetic plasma healing device. It's original from 1901. And that technology is so advanced compared to what we kind of use and know today in terms of electromagnetic devices. So we have one, I think one of the only ones in Canada, actually the only one in Canada. And how it works is when pulsed electrical energy is utilized as a source on top of the skin or on a joint or something, it actually quite immediately starts to provide a charge. And your body is very much based on polarities, a different charge of positive or negative. And so like attracts like. And so as we are meant to have our cells stand on their own individually, when they're fully charged, they can do that. When they lose their charge, then they can't do that anymore, and they clump together and they basically become amalgamated or agglutinated, if you will. And so then cellular communication can't happen. So with this pulsed electrical energy, it charges each cell. And when it hits your fascia right underneath your skin, it travels along that whole fascia band everywhere. So the local area and farther areas along your body are getting charged. And your muscles act like a capacitor and store that energy as well. So it will slowly release it later on. So that allows each cell to stand on its own. And then with all electrical energy, there's a magnetic dissipation or field that is formed around it, which actually also creates more space and flow in the system of it. So in the network of the cells. And so both of those are creating more space within the area that's affected so that flow of your body's fluids, your body's water, can actually start to move. And once it can move, then it can clear out junk. I call it soot. And then it can also bring in healthy cells that are, or messengers and enzymes and nutrients that are required to help those cells actually heal and repair and regenerate. So that's how it works. It's a very short treatment period where it's only applied for 5 to 10 minutes. And it's very, very effective. I've never seen anything quite like it in my entire medical career so far. And it's gentle. There are no side effects that are adverse at all. And again, it's one of the kind of earlier devices or technologies or inventions that are just kind of coming back to our attention now. And they really, really deserve our attention and our usage back into circulation. So that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's just awesome. And, segue, Tesla, what an incredible human being. Not very undeserving in the textbooks of history. So I'm on this machine for 10 minutes. And at this point, I have to leave, Crystal. I'm in so much pain. I need to get home and take some medication to alleviate this. And you said to me, and I'll never forget, within 4 hours, you'll feel relief, because this can take up to 4 hours. So 10 minutes of healing, it's going to actually reach its peak in about 4 hours from now. Well, I go home. I can't even make it up my stairs. I go to my front room and I lay down, and quite frankly, I pass out due to pain. 4 hours, in roughly 4 hours, I wake up. I hobble over to the bathroom and I'm already saying, hey, I don't really feel it in my ureter right now. I use the men's room and boom, I pass a kidney stone that I got at about 9 p.m. the night before. And now it's noon out. Now it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've already passed it. I passed a kidney stone in 17 hours. This is my third kidney stone. My first two, I had to have lithotripsy on. And this one, I passed within that 4 hour band of one time. So you've alleviated all of my gout symptoms that I hobbled in on. My excruciating, bring tears to my eye, back pain from a kidney stone, gone within 4 hours of my first time usage on your Tesla machine. So thank you so much for that. I will never forget. So that was kind of my first experience here. So 2 thumbs up, definitely. And ever since then, I have been a 3 times a week member because, again, I still have a scar on my arm from the palm of my right hand all the way to my elbow, where I then had a skin graft to cover the, quite frankly, hole that I was of skin that was missing from my surgery all the way up into my armpit. And so the next time I'm in, again, I come in, I do the air. You've put now the brown gas on my skin, on my healing. And then we go to the Verify machine. And you say to me, set your intentions, because what your intentions are here is going to happen. So as I was looking to heal my arm quickly, and I am quite spiritual. I was spiritual before I had this experience. Now I am devout because I almost lost my arm and I almost lost my life. 43 years old. I would have had a 6-year-old daughter growing up without a dad and a 48-year-old wife, now widow. And so I am so thankful. I am so thankful. I don't thank for my future. I say, blessed be this day and thank you for this day, because I don't know what the future is holding, but I know I was kept here for a reason. And I know that this is true. So in my most times in there, I would set my intentions. I would ask Jesus to heal me. And I would get up and I would feel amazing. And I have gone to see Dr. Byung, who was my operating surgeon. I saw her for every 15 days, then 30 days after my surgery. And last time I saw her, which was about 30 days ago now, she says to me, Rick, taking your age into account, I have never seen someone's arm or injury of this magnitude heal as fast as yours has healed. What are you doing? Well, I tell her about integrity wellness, and she says, keep going. I don't need to see you again. Isn't that, it's truly remarkable. She had booked me out for another 6 months. Rick, you're healing so well, I don't need to see you again unless you call. So truly amazing. So I am so thankful for her saving my life. And I'm so thankful for you, Dr. Crystal, to recommending all of these wonderful, again, apparatus that allow my body to heal itself, right? To seek homeostasis, I think is the correct word. Yeah. And so, again, by the way, when I go into Verify now, yes, I'm talking about healing, but man, you've always said to me, when you're in here, set your intentions. And writers, if you're listening and you have a writer's block, come take a Verify, set your intentions on writing, and put your seatbelt on, because your mind is about to go a mile a minute in terms of what you're going to feel there.
Most of our listeners may or may not be aware yet about what the Verify is. So I'll just give a very brief description of this modality. So your body does heal itself. There's never a time that another person or a device heals you. It can only help to unblock or to remove blockages or to open up space or to just help your body be able to flow, and the intelligence that is your body for it to do its job. So the Therify is a plasma vortex technology. It's also known as a plasma medbed. I don't like to use that term because there's a lot of different connotations to the word medbed these days. But plasma vortex technology is the absolute emerging thing these days. It is phenomenal. And what it means is that the universe is 99.9% plasma. And plasma is self-organizing, self-correcting, self-generating intelligence. So you're in an intelligent field that is self-organizing, self-correcting, and self-generating. That does that to your body and your mind and your spirit. So it interfaces and interconnects with all those major parts of you that make you who you are. And that's what Rick is referring to when he said at the beginning that you were focused on healing. And then once the healing has taken place, you can focus your intentions elsewhere to gain insights or to gain different results using the same modality. So it's pretty phenomenal. So Therify is we're one of the only locations in all of Canada that has one. There's only a couple in way out west, but we're the only ones in Ontario. And it really is truly an incredible invention and technology, also based on Tesla's work, built out, right? Expanded upon. So we're very fortunate.
And I would call it an experience as well. You truly, when you're in the field, have an amazing experience. It's like the sensation of a roller coaster, both up and down, because I like both, but nonetheless. And then from there, I usually go into the scalar, because I do like to do red light last, which I'll speak about, but then I'm in the scalar. Essentially, you're put into an electric field. And again, we've already talked a little bit about how your body is an electric field. And the one that it's an individual program set up each way you want to go. And we've done a lot of DNA repair because, again, I have a very healthy scar on my arm. Now, I'm a happily married man, but I've always said chicks dig scars. So it's a good one. But at the very same time, I sit down. It's peaceful. It's relaxed. And I lay down and my mind is able to drift. Admittedly, I've actually fallen asleep in the room a few times because it is about a 30 to 40 minutes. And a lot of people, do I feel anything? Am I feeling it working? Look, at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. And you did say it's more than just one session when you're scalar. It's something that's built. And the third, the fourth, the fifth time, now you're really starting to notice, hey, you know what? I can't believe how good this looks, how much my scar tissue is healed, how much, again, this is when I went and got my skin graft. I was told this is how it's going to be for this long. It's going to hurt your leg. Your leg is going to be very itchy and painful. I would leave, and by I think my third time, I was like, my leg's not even painful. It's itchy, but that's healing. My arm, I cannot, I had to wrap my arm all the time. I no longer have to wrap my arm. So yes, I'm putting vitamin E on it and doing all of those wonderful things. But then my nurse comes by and looks at it, because again, I have a nurse come by from Bayshore and do my wraps and stuff like that to monitor my healing. And she says to me, she's like, Rick, again, because it's usually the same nurse, but then on the Fridays, it was a new nurse. So she hadn't seen me in 2 weeks. She says, what are you doing? I look at people's scars and tissue every single week. You've done 6 weeks of healing in 2 weeks. How is this possible? Well, I understand how it's possible. I go to Integrity Wellness. I follow the system that's been laid out. There is a path, and I walk that path, and I understand why I'm healing the way I'm healing.
So as Rick, your body is healing, its intelligence is what's doing it. What we're doing is supporting the body from the deepest level, which is the space between the cells, all the way to the cells and what structures or materials the cell needs in order to be able to regenerate and rejuvenate itself, but also to communicate effectively with all of the other cells in your body. And how your body works electrically through your nervous system. If you are not able to calm your nervous system, you're not able to heal. So there's different pathways in your nervous system, and a lot of people in chronic stress or who have just gone through such a trauma as you have may be very restricted and constricted in their body from the stress of it all. And modern life today, where I see it all the time, people are far too activated in their sympathetic nervous system. They're far too emotionally reactive, which means they're not able to heal. There's no way your body can heal during that time. So the scalar adds, it's a very subtle energy level. It's the deepest level of basically consciousness that it's touching consciousness that we have. And all healing happens inside out, from that deepest level all the way out to the fullest expression that the world then sees. And it's subtle, but it's very, very effective because it provides the environment or the most opportune circumstances for your consciousness to be able to move for you, to heal for you, to regenerate for you. And it's always doing that. It's a promise. So we know that. We don't have to worry about that part. We just need to be able to provide space, flow, and charge. And that interaction with your intention, with your consciousness or your plasma, if you will, that intelligent substrate that you are, then we are winning. It's super simple, although it's not, right? But it's really, we've complicated things by externalizing everything and looking through the weeds to try to find the one thing that's going to work, right? Medicine is super useful in your first initial situation where it was an emergency situation and you needed this done and it saved your life. And medicine is awesome in the manner that it works and that it does its job. And then outside of that, we need to have systems. We need to have different approaches, right? To be able to support the body's own healing. It's natural. We are natural. So the scalar is it is a field of that subtle intelligence that your body is made from. And we use frequencies because the next level of life itself is spin and charge, or frequency and vibration.
If you want to know understand the universe, think in frequency and vibration, which again is a quote of Nikola Tesla.
Absolutely. And I'm going to start doing some teaching on sort of how this all kind of layers out from one another all the way up to a human. And the complexity seems very challenging for people, but it actually is very simple. Matter and all matter comes from energy. Everything comes from this field of consciousness. So if we can just wrap our heads around that for a little bit and move from there, then these technologies and these modalities, you can understand, like you have, how they can help your body heal itself. And then you don't have to take it all on, right? You don't have to take on, ooh, I got to do this to make sure my body heals. No, your body is always going to heal. It's just how well and how quickly and how much more effectively can it heal to give you the best recovery and the best ability to recover function and form itself.
And coming here, it's been absolutely incredible. Instead of relying on like Rothschild hydrocarbon or petroleum based products, which all have unwanted effects. For the word side effect to me is jargon. They're all effects. Some of them are wanted, some of them are unwanted. And a lot of these, again, hydrocarbon slash petroleum based cures, first of all, they never cure, they only mask. And quite frankly, some of them that I have taken to cure long time ailments, such as gout, are so hard on my kidneys that they're poisoning my kidneys. Instead of, no doctor ever said, hey, Rick, lose 40 pounds and drink dark cherry juice every day. That didn't occur to them. It was, take colchicine, take prednisone, take alpural, indomedicine. Oh, and one doesn't work, switch it out for the other. Well, no one tells you that these things can destroy your kidneys or cause your teeth to fall out and teeth decay, or set on or early onset osteoporosis. Like, nobody tells you these things. They tell you that this is the mask. This is the masking agent that we use. And by the way you stop using it, you're going to have these ailments return.
You're absolutely right. And what I'd like to bring up is I am a medical doctor. I'm not practicing medicine, at least not conventional medicine. I'm practicing my own medicine, which is completely proprietary. And I've done so for, in large part, that reason is medicine itself, the way that it is functioning today and being delivered today as care, is really manipulation based therapeutics. And we can talk till we're blue in the face, but those don't cure you. They don't change anything. They only mask things. And like you said, every single chemical that's made by man absolutely is going to have some kind of other ill effect that you do not want to have. And then as a family doctor, I constantly saw people who were provided with multiple medications that were then treating the ill effect of a previous medication. We're born into a natural world that there's no deficiency of a medication, right? There's no deficiency of a man-made chemical. And we have such an opportunity to understand our own bodies and the universe and nature and actually reality from a new lens that is true and it's objective and it's so beautiful. And we don't need to be punishing the body in a way that, forces it to do something and instead of inspiring it to do something. So the body is going to do what the body is going to do. And if you give it chemicals, they can only do so much. But when you inspire the body and give it fundamental, and I mean primary, first, building blocks of nutrients and nourishment, your body will heal. It's a guarantee. It's a promise. And it's nothing that requires so much invasion, so much harm. And I know that medicine means well, that everyone wants to do the best for whatever patient they're seeing. And this has nothing to do with one's better than another. I think to me at this point in time, it's about honesty. It's about truth. And it's about what truly is in human beings' best interest instead of what are you able to offer to keep your paycheck. So I have a unique position, right? Because I have been there, and I'm outside of it, free from the constraints of it, and learning constantly, as all doctors do, right? Lifelong learner is kind of the phrase. And it's a really valuable position and experience and wisdom to have, and to be able to share with people like yourself who are looking for something better.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, kind of in the Star Wars universe, you're the light side of the Force, and we've kind of been masked over by the dark cloud of the dark side of the Force, and you come here and you spiritually awaken, and you realize those things. So, from that room and into the next, and I like to go into red light very last. And the reason being is because once I've done a red light session for 15 minutes, I feel like my battery is fully charged. I can't sit down and I can't lay down for half an hour after that, because you can even hear it in my voice. I am super pumped. Yeah. And I feel good. I absorb the light. I feel the energy. It just literally makes you feel your battery is fully charged. You are ready to go on with your day at full attack. Especially when I come around 1 o'clock, just, work schedule, so on and so forth. Admittedly, I still get, even when I'm eating very healthy, I get that 3 o'clock lull in my day. I come here around noon hour, and I'm here till maybe 1:30, or I come 1 hour at 2:30. I don't get even a lull for the rest of my day. Like I go to bed at 10 p.m. and that's that, because I've got so much energy. I'm charged. I get out of the room. It's like, high five, up, top, down, low. I'm out. It's just incredible. So that's how I feel when I go into, and that's why I like to do red light last, because I'm just so full of that positive energy.
That's amazing. And we have other people who, use a different sort of sequence, or they have a different preference. But we can always see it in everyone, the rejuvenation, the resetting, right? That they've connected with that, and that everyone feels better after they've left here. And so that's really special, because again, I've had my own medical practice for a long time, and there's not too many times that I've seen anyone leave my office feeling better. And so getting to be able to share this experience with people, and my knowledge and my wisdom, and being able to truly help in a way that's very meaningful, and meets my values and my virtues, right? I'm not willing to compromise those things. And it is just fantastic, because you can see it on people that their energy has been boosted. And you're not one who comes in very dull most days, the odd time, but you can see that you have been almost rebirthed. You're glowing almost when you leave. So it's pretty cool.
That I am. I'm so happy. Like, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Every moment of my life has brought me here, including this incident, including knowing you for as known as I've known you, and having my sister say, you have to go see Crystal and Donnie. Okay. My mind is more open. Okay. Like, I've realized about, when it was COVID. Not to get into that too deeply, but that's when I realized I need to relearn everything. I need to relearn everything that I have took as foundational knowledge, because I had been blinded, but the veil had been lifted, and I can now go into almost any category of subject matter in which I had already been knowledgeable on. but with a now completely open view and open mind, and allowing where the source information now takes me to draw conclusions instead of on preconceptions. And what a difference in my life it has made. So when I'm here, I have now truly convinced of all of these healing measures and what an incredible experience this is, that I am a lifelong member. Sign me up. Um, because again, we do so many things for our health. And in this country, a lot of the things that we do are free. And thank goodness, because this would have been $500,000 in almost any other country in the world. So I thank our country for these things. But at the same time, we're willing to spend a little bit on this and a little bit on luxury and a little bit on ourselves going to school and educating ourselves. Every dollar I have spent here has been worth it. Every last penny, the value that I have gotten from not only my physical health, but my mental health from where I was. Not to say that I was ever in a very dark spot, but everything has been turned upside down. Every leaf has been turned up and is now fruitful. And as you said, I leave here inspired. I leave here refreshed. I will never give that feeling up, to the point where I'm a Dawson, so we celebrate with food. Okay, we also eat our feelings. Okay, so food's a big part of our lives. For me to drive by a burger joint, because I love burgers, I don't eat fast food anymore. I would rather go and buy myself a burger and buy myself a healthy bun from the bakery, knowing that it's not full of preservatives or anything like that. And I fully well know it's not even convenient anymore based on those prices. This has done so much for my mental health that I eat better. I feel better. It's absolutely astonishing. And so that's kind of a circuit of everything that I do here 2 or 3 times a week. And all I can say is that if you haven't been here, get here, have the experience for yourself, because nothing is a better teacher than experience. And once you've experienced what I've experienced, well, I'll see you here Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Amazing. So, and that's one of my goals in creating a new paradigm, is that I saw a lot of limitations. I saw a lot of things that I knew should not be happening to human beings, and that I could not participate in it. So I decided I will create my own. And so here I am in living, this amazing reality. And my goal was to be able to connect and treat and care for the person in totality. So spirit, mind, and body. And so to hear you share that with people is really, it hits my heart, because that was and still is and will always be the first goal. And I've seen medicine lose their own integrity by basically severing a human and thinking that there is no spirit, or that the mind can only be dealt with by a psychiatrist, or that the body has separate systems and organs that you can actually isolate or separate from each other. So that really warms my heart a lot. And thank you for all your kind words. Now, I usually like to, we've had a great chat. I usually like to kind of just sort of ask one more open-ended question. And it's just, is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't already touched on, or that I haven't asked you about specifically, that you think would be really important for somebody that maybe is thinking of coming here, or that is going to be coming and joining as a new experience? that they might want to know or need to know?
Every time I come here, I look forward to the little tidbits of information you give me about, I will say, oh, this has been great healing, or this is what's going on. Your little insights that, quite frankly, kind of sometimes spur off into complete diatribes of information that have me go home and research somebody or something new. Is absolutely incredible. I look forward to it. Oh, what am I going to learn today from Crystal? That's, it's kind of, those are great things. The untangibles that you get from your Dr. Crystal experience, truly make this place special. Again, there are some unique things here that across Canada that you can't get anywhere else. But where you also can't experience anywhere else is you. And so sometimes it's comments, sometimes it's tutelage. Either which way it goes, every time I come here, I leave with a little bit of special information that I carry with me till my next visit.
Absolutely awesome. Yes. And I'm constantly, so is Donnie. We're constantly sharing interesting tidbits of information, because there's a lot that, when we break it down into small pieces or fractals almost, that we find super interesting. We've noticed that other people find that really interesting as well. And really, we have a job to do here as humans, which is to really care for life itself and the planet. And there's a lot to learn, right? There's a lot we've been misled on. There's a lot we need to learn about trusting our own bodies, trusting our intuition, these higher order thinking properties and qualities that we have not been utilized for a long time. And so trying to help and guide people towards those higher order faculties and using them to create a more intelligent population is important to us. So I love that you enjoy that and that you look things up. And I'm always giving people homework and resources. So it's nice to hear that you enjoy that part too.
Very much so.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here with me and for sharing and having this wonderful conversation. And we may do another podcast in the future, just to kind of revisit a couple of these issues that you've had chronically to see how they do over time as well. So I'll look forward to that conversation in the future.
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Crystal. I enjoyed my time and I enjoy my experience here.
All right, everyone, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for listening.
Take care.
Om Soham. Om Soham.